Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
104.7 The Cave, Springfield's pure classic rock. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens. We're in the studio together. It's Dark Side of the Stream, episode 71.
Well,
71.2.
Yeah.
Should we tell them the story?
Oh, of course we should tell them the story. Because it was so good. Full disclosure, Mike the Intern screwed up.
Well, no, it wasn't me. It was somehow we recorded this thing already, and there is a 25-minute video that exists of me and Jay in the studio together talking.
And 20 minutes of it is Mike
and it's just
losing his mind, exploding, smoke coming out of his ears,
and just so mad about this.
It was
documentary.
so good, and
probably the best episode we've ever done.
And didn't
for some reason we got video, we didn't get audio. I don't know what happened. I think something else later on in the day actually.
But I like that you wore the same outfit again today.
But I did it
real.
just so I could recreate
the same Raiders hat you got on.
And bitch, I knew you were going to say it
because it looks like a Raiders hat.
If you're not watching us, just full disclosure here too, my wife's mom sent me my Christmas present. It was a little bit late, but I opened it up and it was a Chiefs hat. And they have, across the league, created these hats for every team with Gothic font.
Well, they look like gangster hats. Yeah, like so-called gangster hats.
Yeah,
black with gangster font.
It's Gothic. It's a Gothic is the
like
name
the Raiders
of it.
do. It looks like Raiders gear.
Raiders don't use it, but it is a Chiefs hat. I would never, ever put that on my head. And yes, at first I was like, I wouldn't. And then I put it on. I was like, actually, it looks kind of cool.
Oh, it's badass looking.
I got a lot of compliments, so thank you, Jay, for coming in here and poo-pooing on my hat.
It's keeping it real.
But we're trying to stay in line with how this thing started yesterday.
So I told Mike to watch this awesome documentary that's free on YouTube called The People versus Vegas Dave, a story about the greatest sports bettor in history, the most winningest sports bettor in history.
So just because it's free doesn't mean it's good, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. First off, let's before we get into the story of this amazing, cool dude.
Yeah, there we go.
Vegas Dave
now you're on board.
The coolest guy I've ever seen in my life.
You're on board.
The coolest guy. No, he's not. He's trash, and I'm going to get right into that here in a little bit. Before we do that, though, gambling. I've always said that there is two things in life that I think are the biggest wastes of money. First, strippers, huge waste of money. Second, gambling. Also a huge waste of money. Now, I am under the impression, and I like to play cards, that if you are going to go to a casino, you are paying to play, right?
Yeah, you're having just a good time. You're having an experience.
You can't make a living gambling.
Not gambling, so to say. You can't make a living.
You can't make a living
doing
doing
this skill game.
That's not
guys,
no.
Yeah, it's a skill game because you're not playing versus the house. If you're playing versus the house, it's gambling.
But if you're playing against other people,
then it's not. Then it's a skill. It's
gambling.
A skill game. There's a little bit of luck, but it's a skill game. But blackjack, slots, it's all you're gonna lose in the long run for sure. That's how the Vegas stays in business. That's how they make their money.
Then why aren't you playing professional poker right now?
Because it's long haul. It's a lot of hours, dog.
We got to beat that one out.
I make money playing poker, but I don't. I'd have to play 24 hours a day.
But it's just
Whoa,
like,
what's going on here, man?
But again, it's like the ride share thing. Sure, you can make money doing it.
I lost you.
Right? But it's stacked against you. Like there's no way that you can make a serious living doing that. Yeah, for extra change, whatever. That's cool. But my point of this is, for anyone, Vegas
you go to
Dave,
a casino,
Jay Stevens, anyone else in the world that tells you that you too can be the most winningest sports gambler of all time, it's a pipe dream. You're an idiot.
Vegas
Don't
Dave
pay this
did
guy
it.
any
Vegas
money.
Dave did it. He broke the system.
Vegas Dave did it after he became one of the most garbage human beings of all time. And we're going to get into the story of Vegas Dave next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 71. Discussing the people versus Vegas.
Okay, so what's your big problem with Vegas Dave? He was a party guy. He had lots of money. He liked to spend it. Flashy cars, girls, parties in Vegas. He's from Hawaii. What's your problem with Vegas Dave?
Let's start at the beginning. Vegas Dave's parents. You get to meet them in this documentary.
Nice family.
They seem like amazing people. They're older. I think they had him when they were later on in life. Kind of like the way Jay and I are going to be when our kids are actually graduating high school. We're going to be in our 70s. Besides the point, though, they seem like really cool people. His father was actually a refugee, worked his butt off to get to a point in life where they actually had some money, his mom and his dad, really. And they have this kid named Dave. And Dave is a huge Chet. And I mean, this guy is the worst of the worst. He's the worst of the worst. So far, like, it really starts where he's like talking about how cool he is. And then he's like, yeah, I went to go take my SAT score and I copied off like the really smart Asian chick in front of me and I got accepted Michigan State, man. And that's where I went. And it's just like, that was the coolest guy on campus. I'm like, yeah, dude, 5'4" little Dave.
And then he started working out.
Yeah. Okay. And so then the first step in his journey of being awesome is he starts injecting steroids because he's got little man's disease. He's got to be the coolest, biggest guy. And then throwing on these parties. Dude, you're a joker. He gets body dysmorphia to the point where this little man, he's just injecting steroids so he can be the biggest guy in the world. And he goes back home and it's like, who are you? Well, I'm now addicted to steroids. That's who I am. He goes to Mexico, goes to pharmacies, brings him back into the country. It gets so bad that he ends up getting an abscess at his injection site in his butt. And they had to take a whole chunk out of his butt because he was injecting so much steroids. His mom literally begging him and crying. He's at the hospital. He almost lost his leg to stop. Yeah, mom, I will. I promise.
You've got another side of your butt cheek.
Yeah. Yep. Starts injecting the other side of his ass. If that doesn't tell you this guy's a garbage human being, let's move on to where he leaves this and goes to Hawaii. Because I guess if you want to be a con man, you move to Hawaii, right? Spot, yeah. Jay can speak from experience there. So he goes to Hawaii. I don't know if you remember the Real World Hawaii, but there was a girl on there. I don't really remember it that well, but she was kind of a drunk. Anyway, there's an episode where she goes to a party and they're talking about her hanging out with this sleazy guy at the bar, gets her blackout drunk. They end up having to take her to the hospital. Guess who the sleazy guy was?
Not me.
Vegas Dave! And he at this point says, it actually was kind of cool because everyone was like, oh, you're the sleazy guy from the real world.
Yeah, it's a good way to be known, right?
Yeah, it's a great way. If that, again, doesn't tell you the type of guy this is, we're going to move on. And he says, and I quote, once that ran out and people stopped to recognize him as the sleazy guy from that episode in the real world, he goes to the last place on earth that lets people like him exist.
Sin City!
And he goes to Vegas, where he actually becomes pretty successful at in the mortgage business.
He was making like, what, $100,000 a month or something?
He's a sales guy. He really was. And you talk to his boss, they were like, damn, he's actually pretty good. But he gambled it all away.
And he bought a Ferrari.
A lot. Oh, yeah, he bought a Ferrari, but then he gambled the rest of the money he was making away. We'll tell you how much he gambled away and what, in my opinion,
Tell us how much he won. We don't want to hear about losses. We want to hear about the wins.
We'll get into all that next, Jay. It's not just jelly beans and rainbows on this episode. Dark Side of the Stream next on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern. Jay Stevens back in the studio. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 71, discussing
Vegas Dave.
All
right, so now we're in Vegas. We've made it to Vegas.
So he's at the end of the rope on his journey to becoming the best sports gambler of all time.
Biggest wins of all time. Biggest wins. Record-breaking wins.
So he's gambling all his money away, but he actually did win a little bit to the point where when you start winning a little bit, the casinos are like, oh, hey, we'll give you a line of credit. Mm-hmm. You're doing good. Because
they want to get it back, so they want to get it back.
So he ends up losing like $200 at first, but then he somehow wins enough to get it back. Then they open a credit line of like $800K, loses it all of it, $800,000.
This was the pivotal moment of his story.
He said he was like $860,000.
Yeah, this was the pivotal moment of his story. He's $860 in debt.
And he owes it to a casino.
And
which is bad.
Either this is going to go two ways right here. This is the make or break moment.
So what does Vegas Dave do? He goes back to mommy and daddy.
Gets a small loan from mom and dad.
Who then have to cash out their entire retirement, $800,000, so their moron son can go back and cover his debt. They do that. But they tell him, you need to go to Gamblers Anonymous and you also need to sell your Ferrari. Well, this Chet, this spoiled rich kid, or whatever you want to call him, no, I'm not going to sell my Ferrari.
Part of his image. Can't.
And I can't go to Gamblers Anonymous. I'll go to Gamblers Anonymous, but you know, I can't even, he didn't even graduate. Even after his parents gave up their entire life savings, their retirement, $800,000. What's he do? He doesn't graduate. He doesn't sell his Ferrari. He turns around and goes back to the casino to put more money on a bet.
This is the moment. This is the one. This is the time. I feel it. This is the time.
After all this money, millions. I mean, he's definitely over $1 million.
All right, but this is where the story gets amazing. And you got to admit,
so he starts
it's an amazing run.
It's luck, though.
It's an amazing run. Yeah, but it's an amazing luck run. It's an amazing luck run. It's an amazing luck run.
He, at this point, this is 2015, goes back. After all this, he takes his parents' money, goes back to casino, puts a ton of money down on futures bet, which, if you don't know, futures is where you say at the beginning of a season, this team's going to win it all.
And you get like 30-1 odds.
Yeah, and at that point, then at a certain point in the season, the casino says, well, hey, it's looking like the odds are getting better in your favor. We'll cash you out this amount of money, or you can stay. He kept staying.
Let it ride.
Kept letting it ride.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. Let it ride.
And he hit it big.
And he did.
And then he hit it again UFC, and then he hit it again football.
Hold on. We got to do the Royals thing.
Boom.
Because it plays into my argument. This is all gambling luck. 2015 Royals, again, they were a good favorite to go again because they had a good team and everything kind of stayed the same and everything was aligning right for them. But it was literally like one play luck that was allowed them to get into the series and then eventually win it. He did win $2.5 million on that futures bet. Huge. Biggest winning payout of all time in baseball. Again, it's luck.
He hit a UFC, and then he hit the Denver Broncos football. So
he did the Super Bowl football.
He nailed in a row.
He did get some big
so
futures.
Much that they said, hey, we're not going to pay you out.
No, we're not done yet, man. Woo! We're not done yet. So he does win. Now, again, the person that I am would look at this and say, you're not talking about all the times you lost there, Vegas Dave. Now you're just talking about the times that you won. And you're not talking about you talked about how you had to take your parents' retirement and cash it in. You're a garbage human being that went back to the casino and did it again. We'll tell you more why I think you are the ultimate piece of dirt in the world on this dark side of the stream. Vegas Dave next on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens, one more time in the studio on this riveting edition of The People versus Vegas Dave.
It's an amazing feel-good American dream story, man. Dude made millions, bro. Dude hit millions, party with strippers. He was partying with beautiful women, cars.
Jay got suckered. Jay, you got suckered. You're in the demo. And it's fitting that I could see you sitting at home watching videos on YouTube and just letting it playlist, and this awesome documentary comes up of this guy.
Man. What a great story.
Dave. Whoa, what's this
dude wins millions of dollars, and then the casino stops paying him, and the government tries to sue him.
Man, this guy must have it going on.
I love him.
There was this 5'4" muscle-bound idiot that injects steroids into his butt. What's his deal, man? He's got to be doing something right. Well, yeah, he got lucky and won $2.5 million on a bet after gambling millions of dollars away. That he's not going to talk about how much he lost. Speaking of which, he actually this documentary is on his YouTube channel. Which, if you didn't know this, he paid a company to make a documentary about himself.
That's a J move.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Those cars he gets out of in Vegas, like the slow-mo video of him walking around with a bottle of champagne in his hand and models, paid for. Those cars rented. Those models paid for. The locations they shot at, paid for.
Hey, he's got a house in Cabo. He's got a house in Cabo.
It's a condo.
It's
a two-bedroom condo that he probably has to Airbnb to afford the damn thing. He wasn't shooting at the top level of the Mirage doing his interview like, oh, cool. He was shooting it at a condo somewhere in Vegas, probably the South Side for all we know.
Vegas Dave, dog.
I'll tell you right now, it's all garbage. It's all smoke and mirrors. This documentary
for $5,000 a month, he'll pick your sports picks for you, and you can become a winner too. This is a hard
sell for his sports consulting betting because he is no longer allowed to make bets in casinos, not because he won so much, because he falsified his information. Now, yes, it is true that whenever he was betting and losing a lot of money, he was giving the casinos wrong social security numbers, which is illegal. They didn't really care because he was losing money. Now, when they're having to pay him out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, now they care. So he gets indicted, 19 counts federally, because he was giving false tax information.
He fought the world. He took it on the U.S. and
he
fought him. You got to like that part of it.
Fought it.
Fight the
he
man.
He did fight it because really he had nothing to.
Won.
I mean, he had nothing to lose and everything to gain. It was his freedom, or he was going to prison. So,
how much is this sports betting service? Look it up.
I don't want to. I don't want to give. You can look it up on your cell phone. I'm not looking it up. I
think
on
there's
computer.
3 different packages.
I don't want to see if I see ads popping up in my Facebook or YouTube of this guy.
Do that.
I'm putting
when
my
you're
fist
gone
through this
today.
computer.
I'm going to do so
happening.
many Vegas Dave searches.
I'm not doing it.
So all you get in your Facebook feed is Vegas Dave.
Oh, I'm gonna be so mad.
Is your Facebook on right now? Vegas Dave.
I'm gonna start. I'm
gonna
gonna start agreeing to like every members only show that's happening, so that under your name. So it's like, wait, I got a show. Wait, I'm not going to members only. Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing to you if you do this to me. I swear to God, I will. So anyway, he
Vegas
in his defense,
he might pick the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Then what are you going to do? Then what are you going to do?
He didn't. He picked the Broncos, which makes me hate him even more. And that was the most garbage season of all time. So
Peyton Manning.
I remember that. I hate it. Oh God, I hate.
Peyton Manning, greatest quarterback of all time. Come on.
He's not the greatest quarterback of all time. So yeah, he fought it, and in his defense, he won. Now he didn't win his money because he falsified the information. He got to go free and basically has been banned from these sports betting casinos.
So now he runs picks for everybody else.
So you too can be a big time winner if you follow Vegas Dave. Vegas Dave, I hope you're listening. I will tag him in this post because we did this in the first edition and I called him out. I hope you're listening. I think you're garbage. I think your story's garbage. I would love for you to come to Springfield, Missouri and talk to me face to face about how you're 5'4" nothing.
Come on, Vegas Dave. Come on down.
Work out before you come see me because I'm going to put a hole through you, bro. I swear to God I will. Come see me. You're a garbage human being. How can you look your parents in the eyes after taking all of their retirement and go back to the casino? How can you look your mother in the eyes after swearing to her that you're never going to inject steroids in your butt again and do the other cheek and then get on camera and think it's funny that you say, well, there's another leg. You almost lost your leg, bro. You're a garbage human being and you should have lost it all. You got lucky and that's why we're talking about you. But honestly, we shouldn't have given you the time of day. And the only reason I did is because I'm in a partnership with this man over here and he picked him and I had to watch it. If I would have started, if I didn't have to do this for a living and I wasn't, because we have this partnership and they have to see it all the way through, I would have turned it off. I would have said, Jay, you're an idiot. This was a commercial for a sports
So how many sports parlays
worst
do you give it?
documentary we ever watched. If anything, Vegas Dave, I congratulate you on being a garbage human being and having the worst documentary I've ever watched, which was, again,
I give it a 3. I give it a 3. I give it a 3.
What's your justification for it being a 3?
It was American Dream story. He came from rags to riches. And he fought the government and won.
There's one thing I did say.
Fought the government and won.
There was one thing that I wanted to say that I didn't say in this version, and I'm going to bring it up now because you just said it. The American dream. What is important to us is important to the individual. If having a Ferrari, a bunch of models who only care about your money, having a high rise in Vegas is important to you, and that is the key of life, then that, my friend, is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to the individual, and that is something I believe. If being jet set and doing a bunch of drugs and Molly and having a bunch of exotic animals, see also Jeff Lowe, that's your meaning of life, go for it. I personally believe that what makes you wealthy is the friends and family that you keep and the people that build you up and the people that you go home to every day and that you get to watch and all this stuff. That is the meaning of life to me. And that, in my friend, is what makes me wealthy. Vegas Dave, you won't have that because you're garbage. And once that money's gone, guess what? You ain't going to have anything left because your parents are elderly. And once they're gone, babying you, and great job. You guys did a great job raising him too, by the way.
If Vegas Dave
you ain't going to have nothing.
If Vegas Dave is on Cameo, I'm getting a personalized message for you.
Oh, my God.
For a sweeper.
Actually, I think that would be
Hey,
hilarious.
it's Vegas Dave.
I'm coming for you, Mike the Intern.
Yeah.
20, come find us. We're here in Springfield. I would love for you to come find me, Vegas Dave. Buddy, I want you to come here, please.
All right. What's
so
the
I can
next
tell you to your face how much I loathe
What's
you.
the next documentary we're watching?
We're going to broaden our horizons. This one is my pick. And it's kind of a crazy story because it's about a very, very well-known family in South Carolina who have literally been prosecutors in this county for 80 years. And recently they've been put into the news because there's I guess, patriarch now of the family, his son got into some trouble, his other son got into some trouble, and then all of a sudden his wife and kid got shot, and now it's become a huge deal about what this guy has done. It's an incredible
Mike
story.
sounded pretty pumped about it. I'm excited.
It's on Peacock,
What's
though.
the song? What's the movie called?
Alex Murdaugh, Death, Deception, Power, and it is a but it does go to what I've always said about these low key counties. See also some kind of counties in this area.
Good old boy counties.
Where you've got these guys that have been sheriffs for a long time and they run this thing like the mob does. It's just country mob, in my opinion. If you look at the way the mob families run big organizations in Philly, New York, LA, Vegas, whatever, and then you look at what these guys were doing in small counties across the country, it's very similar. Very similar.
I'm in.
Dark Side of the Stream. Jay, Mike saying we watch movies
documentaries
so you don't have to.